Hi guys! So today we're going to talk about Celina Powell. This is a thought, self-described thought, who has been associated with a lot of famous people like Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Fetty Wap, Cardi B's husband Offset, Trey Songz. She's been associated with a lot of them, and most people feel that she's all in it for the clout. We're going to talk about her today. I'm Dr.D-Nice, and I'm bringing you pop culture seasoned with wellness and wisdom. While you're at it, why don't you just subscribe for me? And also, you could head over to Instagram, where I give lots of daily wellness tips that are just bound to help you live your best life. Anyway, let's get into Celina Powell. So Celina Powell, a little bit of her background is she says she's of Puerto Rican heritage. And she was also raised by her aunt and her grandma. She also lived with her brother and sister. She had a brother and sister live with her. Her mom was a drug-addicted prostitute, and it's unclear who her father is because it sounded like maybe her father was one of the men her mom slept with, and who knows who that is. It sounds like that's pretty much how all her siblings came about. Just these random men, her mother's Johns, that's the word. Is that the word they still use for the men that hire prostitutes? Anyway, that's who her father is. It's unknown. Maybe she does know, I don't know. But anyway, that's her little bit of her background. She grew up with her aunt. Do you all say aunt? Or I'm Jamaican and I say aunt or auntie. But she grew up with her aunt and her grandmother. At some point, her grandmother did pass away. And it's pretty tragic. When she was about 12, she was raped. She didn't really say the word. She actually gave us the story of her background. She didn't actually say the word, but the way she described the situation, she was raped. And she went into some therapy for that. She spent the majority of her young life in a Christian school. So very conservative upbringing. Very small school all the way up through high school. And it was in high school where when she left this smaller school to go to high school, this bigger bunch of people, she wasn't as popular anymore. She didn't really know anyone. And she noticed that, hey, the girls that tend to dress a little bit more scandalous, a little bit less clothes, they seem to get the most attention. So she began her road to thoughthood by just noticing that she wanted more attention and dressing less, and just really went off from there. So that is the beginning of her thoughtication. And so I'm calling her a thought, but that is exactly what she describes herself as. She actually even has a YouTube channel where she gives blow by blow how to become a thought, how to slide into people's DMs, how to seal the deal, everything. She gives lessons blow by blow, all about it. And I don't know, it's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I actually watched it. I'm like, wow, this girl is like she's really good with handling people. It's crazy. But anyway, she has these videos that she teaches people. I don't know who her audience is. I hope it's not young girls, but she's teaching us all how to be a thought. What exactly is a thought? Well, I mean, honestly, a thought is like a groupie. That's the word we used to use back in the day, but you know, thought works for it. It's a woman that loves to attach themselves to famous people for clout, to be able to, they usually give out sexual favors for them. That's usually part of the deal. And that's kind of what a thought is. I mean, there are other words that we can use, garden tools, but we're not going to say that. We're not going to call people that, you know. Yeah, so that's what a thought is. So what's the big deal? Why is being a thought a thing? The truth is, thoughts have been around for years. Honestly, even if you look in the Bible, there's a lot of thoughtication going on in there. Like, for real. I mean, it's just one of those things that has just been around. As long as there's been men and women, there's been thoughts, and whatever word you want to call them. So let's try to figure out, what is that all about? The first thing is really just attention. I mean, for a lot of people, any attention is better than no attention. As I said before in Celina's history, one of the reasons why she really started dressing less was because it got her more attention. And that, I mean, at its core, a lot of us as human beings, we just desire a lot of human attention, and sometimes it really doesn't matter where it comes from. She gave a story about a relationship she had with Bobby Valentino, and like she slid into his DM, and by the time she slid into his DM and they all met up together in Denver, I mean, it was a full-on relationship in like 2 days. She even got his name tattooed on her arm. They were fighting like they've been together for years. There's jealousy, there's intrigue, there's cheating. This is a 2-day relationship. She looks like she is ready for love and just fell in hard with this interaction with this man. And it's just that's just one of the things about being a thought. I mean, there's some issue there. There's some underlying issue there where that attention is needed. And honestly, I remember, and I'm not even going to judge it, because I remember when I was in high school, I wasn't really popular. My brother was popular, so I was popular by default. People knew me as his little sister. And I used to sit there and dream, like New Edition was really big, like, oh, New Edition will scoop through the school and pick me up in a limousine, and all of a sudden the girl's gonna be jealous. Like that, those are the thoughts I used to have. I think that's probably like a teenage thing. Of course, New Edition never came through and scooped me out. I don't even know what I would have done with them if they did, but you understand where that come from. There's something exciting about being attached to somebody famous that somebody else knew. All of a sudden, like, it elevates your status as a human being. I mean, that's just how we feel it does. For good or bad, that's how we feel. So I get that desire for attention. So that's one of the reasons why thoughts are there. The other thing is, let's just be honest, is sometimes girls are like, well, why can't I do what the guys do? Guys sleep around. They have a high body count. Why can't I have a high body count? And so they try to as a woman, some women try to justify that behavior because they're like, if guys can do it, I can do it. And honestly, that kind of rationalization doesn't even make sense. It's better you just say you want to do it because you want to do it. Not say because somebody else is doing it, you do it. That's kindergarten. We don't do that. We make up our minds to do something, we do it. Don't try to justify that behavior because somebody else is doing it. It just doesn't make sense at all. And it's like a way of legitimizing what you're doing to yourself and other people because somebody else is doing it. No, you've heard it. If they're all jumping off a building, you gonna jump off too? It still doesn't make it right. You're still gonna die at the end. So that's one of the thought processes about some women really going into the thought game. And then the other thing is, third part of it is just simply supply and demand. And the demand is there. There are these guys that out there in these streets, they peacocking about, and the more women they have around them, the better. And they demand to have a lot of women. So that's their demand, and the supply, the women are there. It's just the law of supply and demand. These men, they're famous, they're out there loose now, maybe they left a girlfriend at home, and when they're on the road, they need a little something, and the thoughts are there to supply it for them. So it's a lie. It's kind of a supply and demand thing. And let's not forget, a lot of these guys have that same underlying thing, just that need for attention, any kind of attention. When you throw in a nice looking girl, because a lot of these girls, they really do look good. Celina is a good looking girl. So they look good and you're getting attention from this girl. Yes, where do I sign up? So that's how this whole thought thing comes about. And the other most important part is the clout. Can we just take a second for the clout? That's the ability to draw a crowd, the ability to have people's attention on you. And if you're a person already with low self-esteem or crave attention to validate you as a human being, clout is king. Forget cash is king, clout is king. And for Celina, this seems to be exactly how she works. She will clearly tell you she's not a prostitute. She does not take money. She basically gets clout for this. And how this works is, so she will hook up with these famous people, artists, singers, rappers, whoever. She will hook up with them, and just by being associated with them, all of a sudden, like she is like elevated. Like, oh, did you see Celina with Snoop? Did you see Celina with 50 Cent? All of a sudden, she is in the same conversation as these people who are superstars. So there's the clout. Then she will turn around and share this clout with gossip magazines like TMZ and The Shade Room, because she will actually even videotape her interactions with these guys. Interactions is what I'm going to say, and share the information with these gossip magazines. And all of a sudden, these gossip magazines get clout because they get the inside scoop, the breaking news information on a lot of these artists. Then it turns around, the artists themselves, the rappers, the singers, the athletes, they get clout by being associated with her. Because, listen, attention is attention to a lot of these people. When you're a star, it seems like attention is a huge deal, whether it be negative or not. So now all of a sudden, they're associated with Celina, and they get in the news. They're in the papers, they're in TMZ, they're in the Shade Room, they're all over the gossip blogs because they've been associated with her, and there you have it, it's clout. And guess what? This clout, if managed well, can be parlayed into other things. And it seems to be that's exactly what Celina has done. Who needs cash when you can parlay your clout into other things? Like you maybe get promo deals, you get up into clubs, you can get featured in the club owner can pay you. You get flued out by these athletes. They pay for dinner. They pay for your housing. I mean, I guess this is part of the attraction to the whole thing. And I don't know. No matter when you look at all of that, you just can't deny the deeper issue. Why would a woman like compromise herself in such a way for something like this? Why would a woman compromise her safety? I mean, I don't know if you've heard the story about her, the allegations between her and Trey Songz, but like jeopardize her safety, going off with these men that ain't never met them before. All you did, an hour before you slid into their DM and that was it. You may have heard their record on the radio, but you don't know nothing about them. What would make a woman just compromise herself that way? Compromise your health, being exposed to STDs? You know, these guys are laying down with everything and anything, and they're not even thinking about it. They in there doing these things raw. I don't even have to spell that out for you all. And people get diseases, and people get pregnant, and actually pregnancy for a lot of these thoughts is like a lottery. All of a sudden you're tied forever. It's like you're getting paid by this artist forever. It's like a lottery, and it just doesn't even make any sense. You know, as I was doing my research on Celina, the very last interview I watched, I couldn't watch it anymore. I really couldn't, because my heart hurt for her. I was just like, she seemed like such a nice, sweet person inside, and then I couldn't quite decide. It's like, is she nice and sweet? Is this an act? Is she just a hardened thought and there's no going back from here? This is just her life. She's going to build up body count at the body count, and by the time she's 30, she's washed up and done. You know, I don't know. I was thinking too deep. Well, I was thinking deeply into it, and it just, I don't know. It just, I don't know, it just hurt my heart for her. It really did. Especially when I understand that, you know, when you're young like this, your brain development doesn't finish until you're 24. And the part of your brain that's still developing is the part that really understands the difference between actions and consequences, that can put them together well. And if you're just out there loose with not a lot of guidance, you tend to make decisions that, you know, I understand right now the future is way in the future, and who needs to think about that? And unfortunately, the future, Lord. Anyway, listen, let's go back to Celina. I looked at this girl and I was like, this is a beautiful girl. She has very fine features. Not that fine features make you beautiful, but her features are pretty evenly spaced in her head. You know, there's a formula for beauty. So it's not skin tone, it's not hair texture, there's just a symmetry to the face and how your eyes are set and ears are set. That you can look that up. There's a symmetry, but there is something about her that is attractive. And then she has, to me, it seemed like such a sweet personality at its core. And then when you hear her ability to figure out how to slide into people's DMs and how to master these relationships, she is like a master relationship person. She knows how to connect with people enough for them to flew her out, pay for stuff, have sex with her, even though they know they're going to be up in the shade room, up on TMZ. That to me is like some sort of skill that a lot of people don't even have that ability to connect with people. And honestly, I just know, I don't know, it just really hurt my heart, that last interview, because I just began to see some of those things in her. I'm like, is she hardened? Is she done? Is this it for her? I don't know. You know, as a physician, I told you all I'm a medical doctor. And unfortunately, in my situation, I see a lot of people who have lived a hard life, and now they're older, and their life is just not pretty. Even if they're wealthy, even if they end up married, even if they are just super what we call successful in life, there's a lot of underlying hurt and pain and regret of how they lived their life before, that there's nothing I can do to fix it. They have to live in therapy to just help fix some of these things, their decisions when they're younger. I mean, honestly, it's good that when you're young to just really have people that are going to guide you in the right direction. And, you know, I see a lot of thoughts and would they be thoughties, the men that, I don't know. I just end up seeing a lot of thoughts and thoughties later on in their life, and it's just not pretty. It's not pretty. And when you're considering doing all this just for clout, I mean, I get it. We all want attention. We all kind of love the idea of being famous and recognized. But what are you willing to do for that? What are you willing to how far will you go? What are you willing to sacrifice for that? And why do you want that so bad? Why is it so important for you to have clout, to have recognition? These are things that you're going to have to ask yourself if this kind of life is something that sounds appealing to you. Is it attention you want? Is it love? Is it somebody to really care for you? Is it money? Is it security? And honestly, are there better ways to have that? Because I don't think that life really offers all of those things. It offers it on a really superficial level, but I don't know, guys. Anyway, that's Celina. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Do you even know about her? Is this the first time you've heard about her? Tell me all about it. Let me know what you think of my opinion. Maybe there's another aspect to it that I didn't even explore. Celina, if you watch this video, let me know what you think. Girl, yes, let me know what you think. All right, guys, you all take care. And remember, I got you. I got you. Peace and love. Don't forget love. See you all next week. Okay, bye-bye.